Buenos dias. Thank you so very much, all of you, for being here. I guess for me, I'm just going to start by telling you, I hope each one of you has a higher purpose. That's my whole reason of being in this world, having a higher purpose that's beyond myself. And what is that higher purpose of mine? It is this vision that I have for Africa to do well and be well, because I'm from Senegal, west coast of Africa. What does it mean for me that Africa be well and does well? Well, do well by becoming an economic power in the world, and be well by being a cultural power in the world. That's my vision, and that's my goal for my continent. Now, how do we do that? Some people think, government to government aid is the solution. I'm like, get back to me when you're done smoking whatever it is that you're smoking. Others think, oh, well, let's go for wild, savage, unconscious type of capitalism. Meaning, let's go extract everything we can from anyone we can. We don't care who gets to suffer in the process, whether it's people, human rights, social rights, or environment rights. We don't care. Let me make a buck, and that's all I care about. Well, I have no patience for that either. So in my quest of how can I help and be part of a coalition of people who will ensure that Africa becomes an economic power as well as a cultural power, I started wondering, and I started opening my eyes and looking around me as to what it is that the world was telling me. Anywhere I go around the world, starting with my own country. And by the way, everything I say, you can take it and apply it directly to your country, to Guatemala. Because all of us in the developing world, we do share some of the same issues. And hopefully we share some of the same dreams to see our countries really rise to the top in a way that we can be proud of when it's all done and said. So what I looked and see in my country, in Senegal, what do I see? Most people have one dream, one goal. It's to make it to the Western world. And when you ask any Senegalese young person, and pay attention guys, young person, I say, which passport would you rather have? If I could put any European passport in your hands, or the American passport, any other passport without one single hesitation, do you know which one they say? I give it to you. Which one do you think they say they want? I heard it, American. Absolutely. We go to Rwanda. My husband and I were in Rwanda August of last year. And I said, we had this young driver, and I told Michael, I said, just watch. And I asked our young driver, I said, where do you want to go in this world? He said, America. I said, if you had the choice between going to France or America first, which one would you go to first? America. Okay, that's true. Yesterday, we were having dinner at friends' homes. And the lady I was talking to, turns out they have 4 children, 4 grown children. And I know that here, when you turn 15, there's a special party that happens for you, right? To help you celebrate the turn. And she said that her and her husband, they decided that they don't do that party, but instead, her husband takes the kids anywhere in the world of their choice for 1 week. And that is his way, their way of celebrating the return. 4 children, Guatemala City. She said, child number 1, Chicago. Child number 3, New York. Child number 3, New York. And child number 3, New York. Right? Can we deny it, guys? Quite frankly, America must be doing something right. If America is at the bottom of all of our dreams, to people who have never even gotten a chance to get in a bus in the first place to even go the next city, let alone traveling halfway across the world, where do you want to go? I want to go to America. So what it's telling me is that America has a beautiful brand. People really, really have a beautiful perception of America. Otherwise, why would they want to go there? Then I started thinking and trying to find out why. Why do they want to go to America so badly? What has America done so well that the perception of its country is so powerful? To the shallow observer, you're going to think that it all has to do with America being economically strong. Well, I have a different opinion. I think the reason why America is winning is because America has invited itself in each one of our hearts. America is in our lives, day in and day out. When I ask the same young people, why do you want to go to America? And then I ask them, tell me about what are your favorite products, your favorite brands? I hear Levi's, I hear Nike, I hear Google, I hear Facebook, all types of brands. And again, I focus on the young people. So if your youth, wherever your youth is, that's where your country is going to go next. So when I have them talking to me about all of these brands, what did America do? America has succeeded beautifully in exporting its culture. Culture, that word is so powerful. The young kid that I'm talking to and who's talking to me about the fact he wants to go to America, he wants to go to America because America is cool. He's not thinking about the riches or anything like that. He's thinking it's cool. Because thanks to Hollywood, thanks to all of these different brands, and some of them are as young as some of them are less than 10 years old. Google is a 10-year-old brand, but Facebook, it's unbelievable. So, wow. So when I look around, and because I always want to learn from the best, what did I tell you that I wanted to do? I wanted for my continent to be an economic power, and I wanted it to be a cultural power. Who around the world has done that better than anyone else in the world? Them. And we just found out that the way they did it was through building powerful consumer brands to invite themselves into your living rooms, on your roads, through the cars you drive, in your bellies, through the drinks you drink, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, all of that. You go onto Google every day. You Facebook your friends every day. You don't even think about it. So I'm like, wow, there goes my answer, right there. Right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make sure that I work at building brands, but doing it in a certain way, in such a manner that we do contribute to what I call the global culture. When I look at the top 100 brands in the world, global consumer brands, guess what? There is no African brand whatsoever. We're talking consumer brands. We're talking what people see day in and day out about the world. And for me, if you're not on that list, technically you do not exist. And that's very much what's happening to many countries in Africa, to probably Guatemala, and so on and so forth. So we got to make sure that we get on that list. That's my goal. Because once we start getting on that list, that will be my proof that all of a sudden, we are able to start, we have succeeded at exporting our culture. And I just believe that once you get to that level, it's getting into this virtuous circle of people having a different perception of you and then trusting you therefore and doing more trade with you. And that trade actually brings about more economic power. You see how the virtuous circle works? So that's where I want to get myself to. And that's where I'm trying to get people to go to. So then the idea becomes very simple. Like I said, use the power of brands to change perceptions via joining the global culture making. There is a global culture that's happening right now, and I do not want to be left out. I do not want to be left out. So, because I'm one of those people who I believe preaching is good. It's nice to come here and talk to you guys, but I like to go back in the kitchen and do things. Because at the end of the day, what you see is what you believe, right? So, I took it upon myself to start what it is that I'm exactly talking about. My first company, Adina, the way we decided to be part of the global discussion and also provide solutions has been on the obesity problem that a lot of America is having a problem with right now. And guess what? Whatever problem America has, because America is so pervasive in our lives, we will have, all of us around the world. Because remember, our youth is listening. Our youth wants to be just like America, good and bad. So I am completely selfish and motivated to make sure that by the time our young people are able to really behave on their desires, that they also have good models to model their lives after. So it is a goal of mine to make sure that we do that properly. So with Adina, like I said, we joined the obesity discussion. How can we help to make sure that people start consuming better, more nutritious, and better for you type beverages? And anytime I jump into those type of problem discussions and trying to bring in solutions to them, guess what? I try to bring a part of my culture where I believe that my culture holds one of the answers to that problem. In the case of Adina, we found out that traditional cultural drinks from my country, primarily we started with that, was going to be a superb answer to bring these new beverages to the youth in America, but make the brand, build it in such a cool way that the youth would want to join in and come in and embrace the brand. And as they embrace it, they consume these products, we hopefully give them an alternative option, drinking soda pops. That's how Adina decided to be part of that discussion. My now second company called Tiossan, it's a skincare company. With that one, we went ambitious. I wanted more fights. So what we did is, on this one, because this is a problem that's very dear to me, and that has to do with this very problematic issue of what we call the hookup culture in America. If you guys don't know what the hookup culture means, it means that today, a lot of young women in America, in the name of gender equalities, decide to play the man's game of just going and sleeping with boys, in hopes of having a relationship in the process. Which I'm like, are you idiots or what? So, the hookup culture. How is Tiossan addressing the problem? Tiossan is saying, we believe that the solution to the hookup culture is this notion of the all women. Meaning women can and should have it all. Brains, beauty, huge soul, heart, and be able to be with some of the most worthy, best men that they are in this world, or mate, right? That's what they have a right to. And they should not have to sacrifice their dignity and their morals in the process just so that men can pay attention to them. So, of course, most mainstream is out there dealing with the Kim Kardashians of the world. Let's go and be crazy and all of that stuff. Well, what you get in exchange is the type of wackos that they're dealing with. I do not want that for myself. My parents did not bring me up to this point for me to throw it all out in the name of I'm going to go meet boys where they are. It's always better when you drag boys to where you are, because by that point, you've got all the cards. But flashing sex all over the place is not going to be the answer. Again, me going around and preaching to people, bad ladies, don't do this, don't do that, guess what? They're like, lady, go home. That's not what I want to hear. Where brands are super fancy and very powerful is, again, build a cool brand and build into that brand what it is that you want to address about your culture. And so with Tiossan, we turned it into something really cool where we're going for the notion, like I said, of all women, but also the notion of hot monogamy. So all of a sudden, girls who think it's all about having sex all over the place, they're like, wait a second, let's think this again. Over there, it seems like these girls are having it all. They have everything we want, plus they have a dignity and a respect, and they have better than we do. See, presented that way, you have bandwagons of girls coming our way. And that's how we intend to build our new tribe. And you see how the brand then, this Tiossan brand, is being part of a solution and helping change the DNA of the culture the way it is right now. And I'm being part of that conversation, rather than all of a sudden Africans always being the subject of how we're going to fix things. We become full participative actors of how are we going to fix problems for the Western world as well. And like I said, I'm very motivated because if I don't help fix what's going on in America, it's going to come to my country. Do I want that? Heck no. So that's kind of what we work on. And guys, I gave you just those two examples, but there are so many, 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 many more. So all I want you to remember is that in your cultures, in your way of behaving from centuries ago to a year ago, you are sitting on ways of doing things. You are sitting on ways of thinking about stuff that are part of a solution of some of the cultural problems that we are having in the West. Join that, and you will be part of it. So, if we succeed, if I can convince enough people to join me on this journey, what's going to start happening, at least for Africa, what's going to start happening is the perceptions that Africans and non-Africans have of Africa will change. Africans will like and value themselves more and better. They will have self-confidence to allow them to go and do things. Non-Africans will not be thinking of Africa anymore just in terms of disease, poverty, illnesses, wars, and all of that crap. So perceptions are changing. People are seeing a different aspect of each other, positive aspect. And respect and trust is being built in the process. And what does respect and trust bring to the table? It brings me wanting to do more things with you. And me wanting to do more things with you means we can all rise together. So imagine then this world where this virtuous circle has been created, where more voices, more diverse voices are part of a solution, making it therefore a richer solution. Imagine that world. And if you can't imagine it, I tell you, welcome to the 21st century. That's going to be the century of meaning. Meaning. And I believe that if we can reach that level of profound meaning, where everything we do is infused with that, then we finally stand a chance where many, 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 many more of us will be able to do well and be well. I hope it resonated with you. And if it didn't, it doesn't matter. It resonated with myself because I need to hear the message on a very regular basis because it's a tough one. And, but just have sometimes I don't know how to end these things because I get very emotional. So I will leave it to that. Thank you.